Welcome in. It's episode 107 of the St0ner Sports Radio podcast. We're back. We're live. We're doing well. We are back to catch you up on everything college football related. We have instant reaction here to OU Alabama that just ended about 15 minutes ago. Heisman hopefuls will give you who we think should be carrying home the hardware when it comes to New York City. We've got a Thunder update, baby. We are rolling to possibly back-to-back NBA Finals champions, and we'll tell you why. NFL talk. We got stuff to talk about. Jameis Winston suiting up for the New York Giants this weekend. We love to eat some W's here. That's right, big rings, baby, and big things. And we'll visit the sportsbook where we look to continue to have some success. Zach, how we doing on this Be Happy Saturday? I know you're feeling a little bit better than you were when we talked last.
Oh yeah. I think OU's starting to roll. Obviously we just came off a win against Alabama, 2-point win. We're 2-0 against Alabama since joining the SEC. Just saying. I think that the committee's starting to realize that the 4-week skid we had where we went 2-2 was because Mateer was obviously still recovering. He looked a lot better today. He still didn't look great in my opinion, but we'll get into that. But we're feeling good.
Yeah, you gotta be. You gotta be feeling good. Look, we got a lot to catch up on. We've kind of been gone here, and we've been doing things, and this is just the way this goes. We're very casual about it. We try to be as consistent as we can, but that's what makes this the St0ner Sports Radio podcast, because we're lax here. We're chill. It happens when it happens. And so let's just start off with just kind of let's back the time up here. We'll step into the time machine here. We'll go back to week 9 here, October 20th to the 26th here. Big games all around the country. The biggest one, really, in my opinion, that whole entire week was the Vandy Missouri game. That was a really big one for SEC, kind of like upper echelon things. You had the exciting ending of Texas Mississippi State. You had Alabama escaping South Carolina. You had Texas A&M stomping on LSU. You had who we thought might be a competitive game, Indiana blowing the doors off of UCLA. And your Sooners couldn't do it against Ole Miss, against Chambliss and the boys. I guess let's start there. Look, OU traveling, hosting Ole Miss at home, and loses a tough one by 8. No points in the fourth quarter for the Sooners, which is kind of the telling tale of how that game ended. What was kind of your takeaway from OU's second SEC loss?
I just think Ole Miss is the better team, if we're being honest. I think Chambliss really showed out in this one. He wasn't throwing the ball the best, I would say, in the second half, but still, he did enough to get it done. It was 24-44, which, like, not great, but he did throw for 315 and a tud. I thought for OU, I thought this was a great game for Xavier Robinson and kind of got his start going. That we've seen him have a couple good games. I would say just now against Alabama, he didn't play great, but against Ole Miss, against Tennessee, he's been pretty decent. And then obviously Isaiah Satania, he went off in this game. He had 6 catches for 131 yards and 1 touchdown. That was like 21 yards a catch or something like that. So he's obviously been really great, and I think he should be up for the Blitnikoff Award. But yeah, I think Ole Miss is just a better team. Lane Kiffin kind of put a beating on us. It started in the trenches, in my opinion. I just think that our defensive line just couldn't put as much pressure as they're used to on teams, because the O line at Ole Miss was really working them, and I don't know what happened. I don't know why we played so bad that game, but I was happy with the fact that we had the lead going into the fourth quarter. Um, I kind of expected us to lose it, honestly. I mean, I believe we were only up by what, one going into the fourth quarter. So like it was never gonna be a really pretty win anyways. But yeah, I think Ole Miss was just better, and I think they're gonna get a huge jump in the CFP rankings coming up.
Yeah, I mean I agree. I think it was good to get your running game. What looked like going kind of. Of course, most of that came on a really big run that he had, uh,
Mhm,
early in that second half or kind of halfway through that second half, to regain the lead for you guys in that third quarter. Um, yeah, I mean, it just was, it's the SEC. You're going to get got by a good team occasionally. It just happened to be Ole Miss, and it wasn't really one that a lot of people thought going in would be the one to kind of circle. But it wasn't surprising, right? It wasn't one of those where you step back and go, oh my goodness, like, oh, I'm so shocked. But, it still stung, especially when it's a one possession loss because you feel like, hey, like you said, you had the lead going into the fourth, even though it was a stick man, like you could still have possibly closed that thing out. And to have no points in that last 15 minutes is a really rough pill to swallow. So tough stuff
mhm,
there for the Sooners losing their second SEC game. Um, as we scroll down here, I guess we'll talk about Vanderbilt beating Missouri. Now, Missouri was not playing with their starting quarterback, which I think kind of lent a little bit into Missouri's lack of offense. But 17-10 is not really going to get anybody, super thrilled about the, result of a game. But as far as, Missouri goes, it kind of cooked their CFP chances. Once again, me and you are right about Missouri underachieving this season and not really being a threat that these Missouri fans think is going to happen year after year. Just come on, just quit drinking the Kool Aid, guys. Look. Drink is an okay coach. You just don't have the players. Okay, you just don't have the players
you
anymore.
just don't. He just
You
can't
don't.
recruit.
Yeah, you can't recruit to
His
Columbia,
biggest recruit in the
Missouri.
past 3 I mean, think about it, his biggest recruit in the last 3 years is who, Nwari? I
Yeah,
mean,
Luther Burden.
that yeah, I mean, but we're talking about, like, recruits, and I don't know if Burden
Was he
was he,
not?
like, a high power? I don't
Well,
know.
yeah,
Um,
but probably the defensive lineman. You're probably right, right?
yeah, and it's like, he hasn't really panned out. He's good, but he hasn't really, like, panned out to be, like, this elite
Yeah.
guy that
He-
everyone thought he was going to be, and, that's like the biggest got or get he's gotten in 3 years. He's just not getting talent. I mean, no one wants to play in Missouri. They're losing to teams like Vanderbilt.
yeah.
And I mean, not to diss Vandy, but like Missouri was supposed to be a top 10 team this year, and they're not even close to that now.
No, definitely not. I think that's the right takeaway to take away from that. Look, Texas escaping Mississippi State. This was an exciting game. Texas with 24
Man,
unanswered points in the fourth quarter. Mississippi State fans were feeling
what
themselves
a
going into
game.
that last frame. Goes into overtime. Texas ends up pulling it out. It was a great game to watch. Blake Shapen throws for 381 yards for the Bulldogs. Had a really good game. Wingo for Texas had a great
Mhm.
game receiving, 5 catches, 184 yards, no touchdowns, but those yards did give them great field position to finish those drives. And for Mississippi State, it's a heartbreaker, right? I mean, you hope to win a conference game
Yeah.
here or there, and
I mean, dude.
I mean, it was your chance, and they just kind of let it slip through their fingers, and But yeah, it was a great watch.
Mhm. I mean, just what a comeback
Oh,
in that fourth quarter for Texas. I mean, something I've rarely ever seen. I mean, to score 24 points unanswered to end that game and get yourself overtime, and then pull it out in overtime. It was just an insane. Like, I thought that Arch Manning was near perfect at the end of that game. And just the consistency on offense that Sark was able to get out there in the fourth quarter was just so good.
yeah,
But then you have to talk about the first 3 quarters.
yeah,
You have to.
yeah. You
I
have
mean,
to.
you have to. Like,
You can't
there's a
just glaze
reason
them.
that
Can't
a
just glaze them.
24-0 run yeah, I mean, there's a reason that a 24-0 run only got you to overtime
Yep.
to end the game. I mean, you were down by 24, like, with what, 7 minutes left or something like that, like, something
Yeah.
insane. Um, so you gotta ask yourself, like, why that is. You gotta ask yourself why Blake Shapen had 381 yards and 4 touchdowns. That defense needs to tighten up. mean, that was supposed to be the hallmark of the team was the defense going into the year. And this game against probably one of the worst SEC teams, they're literally 0-4 in SEC play up to this point, right? Up to the point of this
Yeah,
game against
yeah,
Texas. And you can't get it done. And the offense had to save them. I mean,
yeah.
Mississippi State was not even supposed to get close to that many points.
No,
I mean, you should have held them under 21.
yeah. I mean, those
It was
those
it
those
was it was
cowbells can
pretty
get to you though.
ridiculous. Yeah, and I don't like what the reaction was to this game about how clutch Texas was, which they were. I mean, not to discredit that, but there's got to be some true dominance coming out of this team. Good national contending teams don't go down by 24 points to Mississippi State.
No, absolutely not.
You just can't do it. It's not 2014. This
Yeah,
isn't Dak
exactly,
Prescott.
exactly.
So
Um,
yeah, that's my take on it. I
yeah,
just think that it was a fantastic watch.
yeah,
Seriously, a
yeah. It was
fantastic
entertaining. Yeah,
watch.
entertaining as hell. Illinois loses to Washington. Zach. I mean, again,
Mhm.
R.I.P.
We
to
know it.
Brandon Marcello's glazing of Illinois because they just continue
I
to
mean, what the
to
hell?
falter. Washington gets it by 17. So just a big win for the Huskies. They continue to look better than we thought they would. We really didn't think Washington was going to be very formidable this season, but they're going bowling. After this victory,
Yeah,
they stamped their ticket to the postseason. So I mean, good for them, and a big win for them and for Illinois. It's just we knew they weren't going to be this going to beat Ohio State world beater Illinois team. I don't know where um Brandon got that idea, but I don't know. Just a rough look there. Houston with the upset win over Arizona State. I mean, what happened to the Sun Devils from last year to this year? I'll tell you what happened. You lost your star running back, and it's starting to show
mhm.
here. 8-point loss at home. Can't have that happen. Um, Weigman not only has a good day throwing the football, but carries it for 111 yards and 2 scores with his legs. The former Texas A&M highly recruited product getting it done for the Cougars. So big win there, and the Big 12 continues to just be kind of this who's going to be the second best team kind of conference, right? I mean that this continues that narrative.
Percent.
Um, and that's kind of where we'll leave you for week 9. Moving on to week 10 here.
Oh, I
Well,
do want to talk
well, okay,
about
yeah,
Alabama and South Carolina.
okay, let's hit on that. Hit on that, and then we can also kind of give
Mhm.
homage to the great game that was USF and Memphis. That was another thriller for Group of Five, even though they've kind of cooked themselves as of now as far as having
Yeah,
a
yeah,
legit
just lost to
chance.
Navy. I mean, who loses to Navy,
Yeah,
right? Who
yeah. Who
loses to
does that?
Navy?
Now,
Who would ever lose to Navy?
yeah. Talk about the South
But
Carolina
yeah,
Alabama game though.
yeah. So I mean, this game, I thought South Carolina looked really good, and they were up going into the fourth quarter. I think it was. Let me look here. 15-14 going into the fourth quarter. And then they get a touchdown, but Alabama is able to rally back, score 15 points in the fourth quarter, and win this game 29-22. But I think this game, to me, showed the moment that I was like, I don't think Alabama's as good as their ranking is, and I don't think Ty Simpson's as good as his Heisman hopes are. Because when you look at what OU did to South Carolina, you look at what most teams have been doing to South Carolina. Alabama barely got it done, and it wasn't pretty the way they did it. I mean, Ty Simpson was okay, I guess. But I mean, we're talking 24-43, 253. Like it just wasn't. There's too many incompletions, too many mistakes. Um, this is where I started thinking that Alabama might be pretty vulnerable, um, and why I thought that the number 4 ranking just it wasn't justified in my opinion.
Yeah, no, you're right. This was kind of how I mean, because obviously you look at the first game of the season for Alabama and go, "Oh my God," like how do you start the season like that? And I will still say that that's the worst they've looked all year. Was that game? I'll give you that. But as far as since that point, that was the worst they had looked since that point, and I think that probably is their true floor, is how they played that game. I think that's the floor. I don't think the first game floor is the real floor. I think that is first game bad game kind of floor, and I think that this South
Yeah.
Carolina game is more of a reality of like that's how bad they could play. That's a bad game.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But I think that that is true. That's Alabama's floor, is how they played. Because I mean, since that loss to, I mean, everyone's been saying it. They needed that loss to Florida State.
Yeah.
It kind of set them up for, kind of took the pressure off a little bit. It's like, okay, no one's expecting the same Bama that they're used to. Let's quietly, get ourselves to 8-1 until
Yeah.
another team beat them. But um, they were able to do that, and I think we know now that they're not the contenders we thought they were.
Yeah, and yeah, you're right about that. But I think, like you said, that was our first glimpse. I think that was our first peek through the
Mhm.
blinds of that. Um, and like I said, the USF Memphis game a good watch as well. Two top teams in that conference battling it out. Um, and just showing that those conference games can also be exciting, even though they're not Power Five conference or Power Four, I guess, if you want to go that far. But you know what I'm saying. Um, and that
Yeah.
kind of leads us into this next week. Look, let's start again with your Sooners here on the road to Knoxville, hostile environment, former player, the head coach. We've had this storyline before. We've seen this movie happen, and you have once again um, a performance that is fueled by turnovers and being opportunistic, and a defense that carries you to another close SEC victory, 6 point win, 33-27. The real big difference was the second quarter. You outscore them 9-0. The rest of it is pretty even across the board. I mean, it was a nip and tuck game. Tennessee still had a chance there late to make something happen, and the defense comes up big. I mean, it was just another good game running the ball as well with Xavier Robinson. I mean, it like you said, the game the previous week against Ole Miss kind of gave you guys a glimpse of that's probably RB1, and you proved that again with another triple digit performance out of the backfield. And sure, the defense gives up 400 yards passing, but that hasn't that won't hurt you if you can turn the ball over. And that's kind of what happened to Tennessee. Um, and rightfully so. Tennessee fans not very happy with Josh Heupel and his performance due to the fact that they expected big things from this team, especially losing Nico and bringing in Joey and having that switch happen and not having, in my opinion, that big of a fall off as far as quarterback talent. This was more about the defense for Tennessee not being able to corral OU's offense that once again, passing wise, just didn't really do anything great. It was very run supported and very much defensively carried over that finish
Yeah. I mean, I
line.
think it's been consistent all season. It's this defense, man.
Yeah.
This defense is the only reason that we're in so many of these games. I mean, we're talking that I would not be surprised if you looked at like our past 4 games. I would wager that our defense has scored more points than our offense has. I mean, it's actually insane how well this defense is playing. I truly believe they are the best defense in the country. And I think this game, in Knoxville at night on a blackout, um, I think this showed me that if OU can win out for the season and finish the season 10-2, they're locked for the playoff at that point if they finish the season 10-2. And I think this game kind of showed me that the defense is good enough that this team can make some noise. Do I think they could beat like an Ohio State? No. But other teams, maybe besides Indiana, I'm thinking I don't see any reason that OU couldn't beat them. I mean, we just knocked off number 4 in the country, Alabama, and I think we're starting to see that this defense can carry, this mediocre offense that we have to, a ceiling that this team really doesn't deserve, if we're being honest. I mean, this offense just has not been good enough to justify this 8-2 record that, OU has got now. And it's all because of the defense. Special shout outs to David Stone, special shout outs to Jaden Jackson, the Bowen brothers. They've just been so elite. And then Kip Lewis, I think, has kind of been the big dog in it all. And Robert Spears Jennings, obviously, R. Mason Thomas. Like These guys are
the
just
wine man. I love me
socially.
some Taylor wine.
Yeah, Taylor Wine, man. I mean, that man has been elite this year. Insane. I mean, Kendall Daniels, or not Daniels, Kendall Dolby,
Well, both of them
has
have been
just been
good.
so, yeah, I mean, just so elite. Like it's insane how well this defense has played. And once again, I think we saw, which we'll get into further, but man, Kip Lewis loves to beat Alabama.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Man,
He gets himself. I think he's the one that has the most hype sauce in his veins. I mean, after every hit tonight, my
mhm.
man was
Every
was
play,
was
man.
was slapping his helmet.
He took out he took out an assistant on the
Yeah,
sideline, and he
yeah, I
was
saw
going
that.
crazy.
I was like, how much pre-workout did that guy take? My God, my,
Keep the smelling salts
right,
coming, man.
right.
You know what
My
I mean?
goodness. Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was saying. I think that's a great analysis through and through of kind of what that game was, and again, just a huge win for you guys on the road, which leads us to um, some of the more surprising results. Georgia had to escape Florida. This was a game where Florida was in control for most of this game, Zach, and this was
Yeah.
the Florida team that a lot of Florida fans kind of expected coming into this season. We knew they weren't going to be this good. I'm just going to throw that out there once
Mhm.
again. We knew. We might not have ever played at this level. We might not have ever set foot in a competitive fashion onto any field in the D1 vicinity. But 5-3, or sorry, 5-7 for Florida, not to this point is still in the timeline, not out of the question here. And we were very adamant about what kind of product the Billy Napier and company were going to put on the field. But this is the game that Florida, could have snuck up and stole. It's a rivalry game. You're at home. You gave homage to how tough it is to go down there and play in that environment, even when they're not at the tip top of what Florida can be. And this is just an escape job. This was just an escape job by Kirby Smart, and Georgia survives another one.
Yeah, I mean, this one I was really needing Georgia to kind of not lose this game because if they lose, I want it to be to Texas so that our loss to Texas looks a lot better. Georgia almost, blew it all, I think, because I think a loss to Florida there that would put them at 6-2. Like, that's a bad loss. I mean,
Yeah,
that's the reason that Texas, hasn't gotten, rated very high by the playoff committee is because that, I mean, terrible loss to Florida. I mean,
and
they're tough. They're tough losses. Um, I thought that we saw Gunnar Stockton kind of show how resilient he is, though, in this
yeah,
game. Able to get down there and get it, get the lead at the end with that touchdown. He played pretty well, 20 of 29, 223 yards, 2 tuds. Um, he was able to pull it out, and 24-20. It's an ugly win, but it's a win. It's in the swamp, so you got
yeah,
to give it to him.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you got to give them their dues, which leads me to the first surprise of this week. We talked about how Georgia Tech's schedule set them up to run the table. We did not see anybody
Yeah.
on their schedule that we thought should have scared them. And NC State, man, they came up and mollywopped them pretty good. Was in control of this game for literally since the jump, and just never really let up, and ends up winning it by double digits easily at home. Um, I was just really disappointed in Georgia Tech's defense. You give up double digit in points every single quarter. You're not going to give yourself a good chance to win, especially when we know that you have to lean on Haynes King to do anything offensively that's even close to positive. And he showed that. I mean, the stats will speak for themselves. Over 400 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's a gargantuan effort. But when you're behind the whole entire game, you're gonna have to throw the freaking football. And I think that's what you're seeing right here.
Mhm.
And it's just a bad loss for Georgia Tech. I mean, you kind of again, the ACC continues to look like shit. We knew they weren't going to look great, but this is a bad
Yeah,
loss.
what the hell are we gonna do? Well, I mean, what the hell is happening in the playoff for the ACC? We're talking about Miami getting the ACC spot and not even being able to make the ACC title game. It's it's looking really weird, and not to mention, I don't know if we're gonna touch on this game at all, but the Georgia Tech just beat Boston College 36-34, and they were down, I think, during the fourth quarter.
The
So
whole game, the whole
it's
game.
ugly. Yeah, it's ugly for Georgia Tech right now, and it's not looking near as good as it once was. But I don't give a fuck what their record is at the end of the year. Haynes King deserves to be in New York. That man is absolutely carrying this team, and every win they have is because he's putting gargantuan efforts together. I mean, we're talking 25, 35, 408 yards and 2 touchdowns and a loss here. I mean, what else do you want him to
Yeah,
do?
you can't ask him to do anything else. I mean, you would wish that a player like if John Mateer's putting up those numbers, you're beating every team by 30 plus points, and we're looking at OU
Yeah,
being the best team
he
in the
can't play
country. Yeah,
defense, man.
yeah, he
Like,
can't play
Haynes King isn't
defense.
playing defense. So I think he deserves to be in New York. I mean, he's the only reason they had that 8-1 record
Yeah.
to begin with. And
So
I
yeah,
think what are they
that's
now? They're 1-1. You don't deserve to be. They're 9-1.
yeah,
Jeez.
that's what I'm saying. Like this. I mean, they
They
were.
they need to be in the playoff. Like I don't know how Miami is still ranked, ahead of them or what. I don't know what's going on with that.
I just think it was because that loss was just so bad. But the thing is that same week, touching on Miami, they lose to SMU that week in overtime to
Exactly.
Kevin Jennings, 26-20 down in Dallas. I mean, again, the ACC this week that we're talking about, really bad, really bad week for the ACC that week. Um, and not really much to take away other than Carson Beck looked like trash. I mean, and
Yeah.
look, you're talking to the guy that preseason said this was my dark horse national championship team, and this was, I mean, Carson Beck was supposed to lead the Hurricanes to a championship in this economy. I mean, this was setting up for the convicts to go to the White House to meet the felon. I mean, this was lining up perfectly for me, and and we have SMU coming to kick him in the nuts and drop him to 6-2, and still, like you said, ranked above Georgia Tech currently. Lots to be said about that. But just the ACC in general, just a really bad performance from them this particular week. And Texas, they host Vandy and almost pull a Mississippi State as the home team, allowing 21 unanswered
Yeah.
points in the fourth quarter by Diego I Sleep With Your Mom Pavia. And, and a great game from him, but it didn't turn it on. He turned it on a little too late. He played
Yeah.
so bad that first half and that third quarter that you can't just turn it on in the fourth where Texas is thinking, oh, we got this, and that's when you're able to make all your big plays. I mean, they shut him out in the fourth quarter, which props to the Vandy defense because they couldn't do that the whole entire game. But just another example of Texas, in my opinion, just showing that they're not as good as people think they are still. And I think tonight's going to really pull that curtain back a little bit further than Texas fans are going to like. But my takeaway was they almost screw this up, and if they had, I mean, it wouldn't have surprised me. And trust me, I was rooting for it. I know you were. Not really, because you, like you said, you want that loss to look good, but that's right now. At this point, yeah, I'm sure that week you would have loved it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm sure.
sitting there watching that
Yeah, I'm
comeback.
sure.
I'm thinking, hell yeah,
Yeah.
Vandy, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the end of the day, I do want Texas to be, looked at as a good team because that loss looks a lot better that way.
Yeah.
Um, what I don't understand is the playoff committee's ranking after that win, right? So they beat Vandy, and to justify their own ranking of Vandy as like number 9, they have to put Texas in at number 10. I just don't understand that. We're talking
Yeah.
about, almost letting up a loss, a 21-0 fourth quarter for Vandy. Um, This doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and I think you're right. I also want to point out that I think that's what happened with the Miami too, because we're talking about, losing to SMU here, who last season the committee ultimately puts in the playoff, right?
Yeah.
And I think to justify that to themselves, they have to still consider SMU to be a good team, and they're just not that good this season. Um, so I think that's why we saw Miami still get that nod instead of Georgia Tech. Now it's probably going to be Georgia Tech. Um, I don't know if it should be, but this Miami team is starting to fall apart, like you said.
Yeah. I mean, and you know, a lot of people were also hyping up Virginia at the time because at this point they're 8-1 in at this point, and looking really good as well. And people thought, well, is Virginia the best team in the ACC? And that has been a conversation that continues to happen. We'll talk about them when we get to the next week because it was a very unsavory loss against Wake Forest that puts them back out of, in my mind, contention to be somebody that's super competitive in that scenario. But I mean, top 15. Looking good. Chandler Morris, former OU quarterback, looking to try to lead the Cavaliers to something significant. So that's another
He
team to
needs to
look
get
out
a
for.
job.
He needs to get a job.
Get a job. It's not happening, Chandler.
um, but yeah, so I mean, again, the ACC just a mess. But this week was also bad for the Big 12, Zach, because you have Utah beating up on Cincinnati at home, 45-14, blowing the doors off of the Bearcats, almost dropping them completely out of the top 25.
Yeah.
Utah
Shout
lifting
out Texas
themselves
Tech,
up.
man.
And well, I mean, nothing much to say about Texas Tech this week. I mean, beating the hell out of Kansas State's not really getting my jimmies up. But again, they continue to prove that if you put money into something, you can get results. This is a program and a university that is using NIL to its fullest extent, and you are seeing results. Softball team, football team, basketball team, everybody's getting money, and you see the results on the field. And much to my dismay, because I'm gonna be honest, I hate Texas Tech. I don't know why. Just
Yeah.
because mostly
No,
just
we know
because of
why.
it.
We know
We know
why.
why. It's just
They're overrated, man.
yeah.
They've always been overrated, and they're still
They
overrated.
still are. It's just
But
it's
yeah,
just
they are playing pretty good.
they're giving credence to the money being able to translate into wins on the field.
That's what
It's
happens when you have a university. You have the only university in West Texas that matters,
true.
and that's where all the oil is.
True. I'm not saying that
It's
it's
so much
they're
money, man.
yeah they're setting the honeypot of West Texas out there.
Like
Um,
Texas Tech has Texas money, and like the same kind of money as Texas, like Sarkeesian's
yeah, no, yeah,
Texas.
I'm gonna
Like
say
Texas Tech
yeah,
has more money than them.
yeah, people trying
And
to
now that they
yeah,
can actually use it from donors, from outside donors, and now they can use it to recruit,
yeah, it's over.
mm,
Yeah,
mm-mm,
I mean,
it's over.
yeah,
Like
forget,
other
yeah,
schools have to tap in to like the oil money for real.
yeah. And people
Like
thought
I
SMU
don't know
was
how
like the
OU.
second, the second most
Yeah,
prestigious,
like
NIL money.
honestly, let's just get all the Oklahoma State donors and just make them donate to OU instead, because obviously that's not working
Yeah,
over there.
yeah, you got that right. You've got that right. Um,
Maybe we can build a real program here in the state of Oklahoma,
that's right.
combining our forces.
That's right. UCO is your chance. But
Hell yeah.
yeah, roll chose, baby. And then the other one was, Houston gets that big win over Arizona State. Then they get absolutely mollywopped by West Virginia, who's not good.
Yeah.
At
No.
home. And again, you see the Big 12 kind of catering the CFP to just be like, all right, the one spot's Texas Tech. Nobody else has an argument. Move on. And the thing is that puts pressure on Tech because it's like if they lose another one, God forbid two more, then obviously you have the ACC and Big 12 possibly fighting to lose both of their spots in the CFP, which I don't think is going to happen. But I think that you're putting that into play. Now, granted, Texas Tech, they have a bye, and then they've got West Virginia, and that's it. So they're probably going to finish with one loss against Arizona State on the road, and they're probably a shoe-in to make the college football playoff, even if they lose the Big 12 championship game. I'm willing to admit that. I don't know if they're a win in the first round playoff team, but I feel like the Red Raiders are definitely locked into a spot. If they lose to West Virginia by some weird way, I still think that if they win the Big 12 championship, you put them in there. The only way I see the Big 12 not getting a team in is if Texas Tech loses their next two games. That's the only way. And I don't think that the winner of that conference, whoever beats them in the Big 12 championship, will have the resume worthy enough to fill a spot.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that would be BYU would be that team, right?
Yeah, yeah. It would be, and they got mollywopped by Texas Tech. So it's not great to have that be your second banana. But that's just the way it was. Um, Any other games from this week do you want to touch on?
No, no, I think we're good for week 11. This one, week 11 had a lot of buys.
Yeah, it did. We had a
Uh,
lot. We had a lot of teams um, that were off. Let's go ahead and start with um, my Oregon Ducks coming off the bye and playing the Iowa Hawkeyes on the road in Kinnick was a big game. The weather was
mhm.
horrible, and we had to lean on the running game of Noah Whittington. 17 carries, 118 yards, and he was really the difference maker. And the defense for us was not great, but the offense really struggled. And I think that when you look at the way this game panned out for us, we got very fortunate to be able to get into the spot we were. That pass from Dante Moore to Benson on that sidelines, fitting it in that tiny hole on that go route, like literally the size of, maybe a cantaloupe. I mean, he fit that thing in there where literally only Benson could get it. And Malik Benson hauls it in there and sets up Atticus Sappington, ASAP, A Money, for the short field goal to seal the victory for Dan Lanning and company, and a big win for us because again, we can't really afford to stumble again and lose an opportunity to stamp our ticket to a CFP appearance. So a big win for us. Any takeaway? Did you get to catch any of this? No. Yes.
No, I
Okay.
didn't, but I can tell that you won by a safety.
Yeah, we did. We won by a dropped punt being kicked out of the end zone by the punter in the first quarter. I mean, hey, that's all it takes sometimes is a little
Hey,
bit
take
of
them where you
yeah. I mean, and that's that's just the way the ball rolls sometimes.
I can't believe
Um
you let Iowa get an offensive touchdown.
yeah. That was
Dare you.
the biggest surprise, right? The second quarter um
Yeah.
touchdown, and then I guess late they had the touchdown and the 2 point or the touchdown failed 2 point conversion in the field goal. So yeah, I mean they did score late to take that lead 16-15. Um but yeah, I mean it was Gronowski played okay. I know coming into the season I thought that he was going to be kind of a difference maker for them throwing the football, but he hasn't really panned out to be that guy, and I don't know whether that's just the offensive system in Iowa or if that's just him adjusting from playing FCS ball to D1 ball. I don't know which to really lean on as the fault for that. Um, but definitely didn't translate as well as a lot of Iowa fans were hoping. From South Dakota State to Iowa. Which leads us to the biggest game in the Big Ten, in my opinion, that week. At least the most thrilling: Penn State, Indiana. I know that I said
Mhm.
for Ohio State to watch out for Penn State the previous week, and that was definitely not a problem. But we knew that they were going to give somebody a scare, and they gave Indiana a pretty damn good one. And it was Fernando having to get it done um, in the 2 minute offense and doing a good job of it. Going down there, getting the touchdown back in the end zone. Great catch. Got the foot down. Made Gus Johnson sound like someone was giving him some great top under the desk. You love to see some DJT grade top under the desk for Gus Johnson.
Yep.
I can only pray.
Little
Um,
TTG Trump road at you.
yeah, got that right. And yeah, but overall, just a great watch. And again, I think Penn State probably deserved to win this game. But this is what good teams do. They find a way. They lean on their best player. And again, I think that if you're looking for a Heisman moment, this is the one you would put at the top of the list so far from Mendoza.
Yeah, first of all, Penn State deserves nothing. Um, Absolutely nothing. They're trash and they deserve to lose every game in the Big Ten, like they have.
Yeah,
Indiana needed to tighten up, and they did at the end there to get that last second comeback. Fernando Mendoza, yeah, I think I agree. It's his Heisman moment. We'll talk about what happened in Week 12, where he got even more of a Heisman moment, in my opinion. I don't know if it's a Heisman moment, but I mean, it was one of the best statistical games I've ever seen out of a quarterback. Um, but man, that was a thriller. Um, Personally, the game that I was most interested in was actually the Vanderbilt Auburn game.
yeah,
I
it was
mean,
a
what
good
a
one.
thriller! Did you get to catch this one? Yeah. I don't care what Auburn's record is at the end of this year. Cam Coleman should be a top 5 pick. in the
Yeah,
NFL draft.
100%. 100%. He is a
This man is
great A.
disgusting. He reminds me of Calvin Johnson.
Mm, yeah, he's definitely stocky like that. I mean, he's definitely a guy that can win a jump ball for you. That's for damn sure. Um, I think that's a good comparison, and just a great win for Vandy. I mean, look, it took a little bit more than they probably
Mhm.
would have liked to get that win. Um, but you just like you said, yeah, tip your cap, and it's a good win for Pavia and the boys to improve their SEC record. But this week did have a bit of some some trip ups from again just teams that couldn't afford to do it. We talked about Texas Tech beating BYU. This was a top 10 matchup, 29-7. Texas Tech just takes care of business and makes the Mormons look weak. I mean, they
Mhm.
don't even score that touchdown until garbage time in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
garbage time.
I mean, it almost was a 29-0 shutout. You might as well just kind of chalk it up to a shutout, um, at least in my opinion. And just again, just BYU not good enough. Um, and just on the road, tough environment. Lubbock's never a good place to. Lubbock's a horrible city, and you hate to be there, and the facilities are trash, and it's just it's not a welcoming place. Um, and I think that with people as friendly as your neighborhood Mormons, I mean, I think they just kind of were a little shell shocked by the demons down there.
They weren't ready for the tortillas. They
Yeah,
really
they weren't.
weren't.
They weren't ready, and so that was kind of what happened there. But you talk about Virginia. We talked about how good they were doing coming into this week. They lose to Wake Forest at home, 16-9. Can't have that happen if you're going to be a threat in the ACC. You have Louisville hosting Cal, and they lose to a Cal team that's better than a lot of people thought they were going to be. 29-26 at home. So again, Zach, I mean this ACC just continues to cannibalize
Man, they're eating
itself.
themselves alive, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and Washington doesn't help themselves out. They lose to Wisconsin on the road, 13-10, after they pulled off an impressive victory the
Mhm.
previous week against a team that was putting themselves in a conversation to be somewhat of a threat in the Big Ten. So again, just these mid-level conference teams continue to play games that end up being toss-ups, and sometimes the worst team comes out on top, and that's what happens when you get to these middle teams in these conferences. Those are the ones that are going to beat each other. The top and the bottom, they kind of do what they're going to do. But when you're in that middle position, Zach, I mean that's a tough spot to be in any conference, because you know that you're going to have competitive games every week.
Yeah, and Miami's been the biggest benefactor of all this.
Oh yeah, a hundred
You know,
percent, 100%,
they're
because their
they're,
schedule
like,
lines up.
poised to get a
Yeah,
playoff spot,
yeah,
you know? Like, they're
it
poised
just
to get a
lines
playoff
up for
spot
that.
purely because their schedule lines up.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone knows it's better to lose early than it is to lose late, and that's kinda what Miami had been doing.
Yeah. And so let's at least the last two games we're gonna talk about. We'll save every game except for your game for this weekend, where for Friday this week, if we get to do an episode.
Yeah.
We'll catch on that. But we'll talk about my Ducks against Minnesota, because that was kind of just another one we needed. A little bit of a hot start. We kind of coasted there in the second half, 42-13. Another good win at home for us. But another ACC game, Zach. This ACC continues. Clemson gets the win over Louisville, 20-19, and Miami continues to benefit. I think I mean, big win for Dabo. I've never seen him more excited to be 500 in my life. Um, but I mean, this just has worse repercussions for Miller Moss and the Cardinals. Just bad, just bad. Can't do it.
Yeah. Not to interrupt here, but just checking in on the Florida Ole Miss game. Florida's up 21-10
Okay.
with 13 minutes left in the second quarter.
Hmm. All right.
Mm.
All right. Interesting development there.
21-10.
Yeah.
That is going to be interesting. What happens to Ole Miss in that scenario, man? That's nasty. Is Florida ruining seasons out here?
I,
Florida out here ruining seasons in the SEC? I mean, they're probably not making a bowl game at this point, so
yeah, they
they're just
almost
playing
yeah,
for fun.
they almost jumped up and bit Georgia. I mean, they're gonna have to get somebody. They have to chop somebody. And right now
And I
they're
thought South Carolina was gonna be the guy, this
yeah,
week. I
yeah.
thought South Carolina was gonna go in there. We have to talk about that, man.
Well,
I mean,
You
what a
you
crazy,
know how bad I want to talk about it.
crazy game.
This was Texas Mississippi State levels of crazy. I mean that's literally what we technically watched that
Yeah,
game happen again, and again the Texas school comes out on top when they really shouldn't have. And I just I guess we'll talk about it. I mean Texas A&M 31-30 over South Carolina, down 30-3 at halftime. No points allowed in the whole entire second half for the Texas A&M defense. Their offense woke up. It just became what it should have been when the game started, really. And 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 South Carolina's defense turned into what the hell is happening, because it just seemed like
Elko, man.
chunk play after chunk play after chunk play in the passing game for Texas A&M, and it wasn't happening in the first half at all. And you had Nick Harbor going buku bananas, and then you had KC Concepcion going, well, here, hold my beer. Let me see what I'm still on the field. Marcel Reed, who played probably the worst first half of football I've seen him play this season, comes out in the second half and looks like someone that you could possibly convince to get back in the conversation of New York, even though you look at this game and you go, probably shouldn't have been in that situation in the first place. But if you're going to give Arch Manning a
Yeah,
bye with something like that happening against Mississippi State, you got to give Marcel Reed this bye as well. You got to give him this mulligan, right? I mean, that's how I see it.
yeah. I mean, just what a comeback. I mean, I think it shows, the kind of coach that Elko is. This is a halftime adjustment kind of game right here, and his ability to go out there and just completely out adjust Shane Beamer in that second half. I mean, we saw them just developing the air game at a much higher rate than they were in the first half, and it just worked out so well for them. And then, South Carolina, they just couldn't stop us a thing, man. They couldn't stop. They were paper out there, that defensive line. They were just absolute paper. The O line was breezing through them, and I think this shows, the kind of resilience that you want to see out of a team that I think has a chance to actually win a national championship this season. And I know that that's a terrible thing to say
Yeah, it
about
is.
Dak. Um, and that would be terrible for college football. I
Oh,
mean,
absolutely.
absolutely
Yeah, it'd be
terrible.
horrible.
Be at the mercy of, you know, a school that has yell leaders. I mean, come on, come on. Have you seen them? It's terrible.
Oh, well,
You ever been to an Aggie
if
wedding?
you haven't, you're
It's
living under a
actually
rock.
called.
Yeah,
It's so crazy.
it's
Like
cringy. It's so
they do the
cringy.
chants at weddings, man. It's cringy. They do the chants at
So
weddings.
cringy.
They stand in a circle. It's like a cult. I don't know what's going on there.
Okay.
Not nice.
I'll
Technically, they're in the military or something.
yeah,
What the fuck?
I don't understand that either. Let me give you this hypothetical here. Oh, I guess not a hypothetical. Give me this option. Which is more cringy, that or the 6-7 thing?
Well, these are grown men. Like,
Just checking. Just want to see where you were on it. Just wanted to see where you were on that.
this isn't a third grade class. These are grown
Hey.
men.
You had
They
grown
have
ass adults calling
traditions.
timeouts yesterday so the kids could freak out. Okay, you had grown ass coaches out here calling timeouts so the kids could freak out at these women's basketball games they were at over the weekend. I mean, just you're calling full timeouts. Just because, yeah,
Have
just
you
let these.
seen those yell leaders, man? Have you seen those yell
Oh,
leaders?
I've seen
What
them,
we're gonna
and
do? We're gonna kick their butt.
yeah,
Like,
it's gay, it's cringe. I mean, it's both. And the thing is it's like there's nothing wrong being gay. I'm just saying it is. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying if that's where we're going with this, it
for a
is.
school that's so homophobic.
Oh yeah, no, and the thing is, yeah, they're not pro anything related to that. They hate that. That's gonna get under their skin like nobody's business. But yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's catch up right there. That's catch up for you folks. That's catch up. We'll catch up on other things. Zach will chime in if anything happens between this Texas Georgia game. Texas up 3-0 right now. But Georgia is
yeah,
marching, so that probably won't last long. Let's go ahead and dive into your instant reaction here. OU gets the win over Alabama, 23-21 here, Zach. A big win for OU on the road in Tuscaloosa. Like you said, 2-0 against Alabama since joining the SEC. And again, you had to rely on your defense here to get the job done. What, 3 forced turnovers, all resulting in points after the turnovers. At least I do believe that's what happened. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but
yeah.
I do believe you scored off of every single turnover tonight and you needed it because Two field goals and one
Yeah.
touchdown in the second half combined between both of these teams was probably not something that a lot of college football fans were expecting when they were watching this football game. The first half, I think you could look at and go, that was kind of what I expected, especially with Alabama having a chance to tie going into halftime. Great job by Wine getting in there and getting a hand on that kick and making it go sideways, because if not, you're looking at probably a loss here by a point. I mean, this had a lot
Oh,
of
he might have missed it anyways.
I mean, true, but I mean, there was a lot of instances here where you could say that won OU the game or that lost Alabama the game, and they were mainly plays that were made by OU's defenses and plays that weren't made by Alabama's offense. I think that's kind of my takeaway from this, and I kind of give all the credit in the world to your defense, because without it, there is no absolute chance that you have the record you have. There's no absolute chance that people are sitting there, thinking that BV should keep his job after coming into the season, thinking that there's no way he's going to keep it after this season. I mean, this defense has literally changed the trajectory of this school's football program from what we thought was going to happen to where they are now. And we thought the offense was going to be something to behold. We thought that Ben Arbuckle was going to come in and transform this offense into something that Jackson Arnold and what's his face, I can't remember his name anymore. It's so freaking irrelevant.
Michael Hawkins.
No, Seth. What's his nuts? Seth Luttrell. Seth
Oh,
Luttrell. Yeah,
Latrell.
yeah. His dumbass. I mean, we
Yeah,
we thought that
dumbass.
replacing those two guys and
Fuck you,
plugging in
Seth
these new
Latrell.
guys was gonna give you this, overhaul of a better offense. We thought maybe the running game would wake up, and you've gotten really none of that, Zach. And I don't know how you feel about that. But I think that it's been kind of disappointing offensively compared to kind of how you guys were looking at the offense heading into the season.
Yeah, I mean, the offense has been nothing short of mediocre. I mean, just good enough, I guess. But I mean, I think it's kind of the reverse of what we saw under the Lincoln Riley era. It's like back then, I think all the recruits, all of college football is thinking if OU can just get a defense, then they're winning every national championship possible. And now it's kind of the opposite. It's like if OU can just get a consistent offense, not even an explosive offense, just a consistent offense, a consistent 28 points a game. I think the OU defense would, make that team undefeated. And it just hasn't happened. And like you said, I think it's been mostly the run, trying to force QB runs. And I think John Mateer probably is the best runner that we have, but I think other teams know that. And I think against this and at this Alabama game, Xavier Robinson wasn't nearly as good as he has been all year. Blaylock is just not very good in my opinion either. And it kind of leaves you wondering like what happened with Jay Knott.
Yeah,
Like where
yeah,
where is this, recruit that we were supposed to get transfer that was supposed to be really good? He's been like hurt, I guess. Um, but we haven't seen anything productive out of him really. And he was supposed to make this offense what it was supposed to be. I think if he played at the level that we expected him to, or it's a completely different story here. If we can just establish a consistent run game, I think that Mateer doesn't have to play hero ball. But I think you also have to consider the thumb injury and what role that played in Mateer not being himself. Um, but then you go to this Alabama game, the thumb injury is not a problem anymore. And he still just isn't that impressive. I mean, he was 15 of 23, so it's like 66-ish%, 138 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. He ran for 23 yards and got a touchdown out of it. That 120-yard run um, was amazing. That got him the touchdown. Other than that, it was 9 attempts for 3 yards, out of him. Um, so it's got to be better there if he's going to be our lead runner. He got most of his yardage on one touchdown run. It was a great run. But you just have to be more consistent than that. And Xavier Robinson goes 10 for 34. Um, Personally, I think we got to start utilizing a lot more jet sweep scenarios, maybe just even line Satania up there or back there in the backfield because I just don't see a running back that takes my breath away.
yeah.
you know? And I think that Xavier Robinson could be that. but I don't know how much I care about, if he going further in this season. Obviously OU controls their destiny at this point. Two home games to end the season against Missouri and then LSU. I will be at that LSU game. Um, if Xavier Robinson has great games in those games, I'm still not that impressed because it's Missouri and it's LSU who just haven't been very good this season either. Um, this team, in my opinion, what I would predict is that OU's making the playoffs now, as long as they can beat Missouri and beat LSU. So some running back has to step up for the playoffs because we're not getting a bye in the first round, and we're going to have to be able to beat another playoff caliber team. And it's going to probably be a team that's better than OU.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if OU's playing Oregon in the first round of the playoffs this year. That sort of scenario,
Yeah.
maybe even Indiana, you know,
Oof. Yeah.
and yeah, I'm not excited for that. And if Xavier Robinson isn't giving me 100 yards a game, consistently, if I can't rely on that, then I don't have faith in this offense to be able to do anything without establishing the run first. Like I said, I think the defense might have more points than the offense in the last couple of games. I mean, in this game, we're talking about a touchdown off of a pick, which was a great run back by Eli Bowen. And then, the other points are field goals that come off of turnovers that the defense is or the special teams is producing. Um, by the way, you got to get touchdowns in those opportunities. I mean, we're talking about two different occasions where a fumble resulted in OU getting the ball inside of the Alabama 30, and we just couldn't convert, to 7 points on either of them. And, luckily it was enough, but not being able to get touchdowns in that situation is just not acceptable in a playoff game. You have to convert those, and it just wasn't happening. Couple of concerning things I saw from this game, defense wise. Really, in my opinion, we got to cover tight ends better, and
Yeah.
honestly, we just got to cover slot receivers better. Um,
The middle was
we are
always
pretty
open.
decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, the middle is always open. We're pretty good at covering the deep routes, the go routes. Um, Guillory could be better.
Yeah, but he's a freshman, so
Jordan
he's
Guillory,
gonna make
he's
mistakes.
a
Yeah.
freshman, and he is really athletic, and he is a really good DB. But yeah, you gotta clean it up, man. He's one of those guys that like he can run with anybody speed wise, but man, he's got to be better on those comeback routes. He just
Yeah,
can't predict them,
He's
and
yeah.
he's getting cooked every time on those. Like if I'm an opposing OC and I see single coverage, I'm telling the quarterback, let's get that guy on a comeback. Let's get that guy on a hitch
Or yeah, or an
because
out route.
Guillory's
Because I mean,
athletic.
on that fourth down
Yeah.
against him, it was just an out, real 5 yard out, and he just overran it. And he was
Mhm.
well. And here's the other thing. I don't know if you're noticing this, but the distance between the defensive backs and the wide receivers in medium distance
It's
downs
concerning.
is really deep. And I'm like, why would you allow a guy to run a seven
Mhm.
yard route so easy if they only need 5 yards? Like I just I need the safety
Yeah, I
up a
think it
little
makes it
bit.
vulnerable to
I need,
screens.
yeah, I don't understand that. I'm sure there's a reason. Now, on one play when I was like, why is that so bad? The guy that looked like he was coming off the edge to rush dropped back in coverage and got and filled that void. But I'm saying when you send that guy, and this is where that middle comes open, when they send that extra guy, if he doesn't get there, the quarterback knows that hot route over the middle is open. I mean, that's just basic
Mhm.
quarterbacking. You don't have to even play a football video game to understand that. But like when these quarterbacks see that happening, they know that the middle of the field on a slant or an in or a drag is the right move there. Everybody knows that. It's not some sort of, you know, high IQ thing. And I think we saw that a lot tonight with pressure up the middle just not getting there. And the other thing is the hands, right? The hands are up trying to deflect these passes. They're just not connecting. They're just not. I mean, and I don't know if there's like a technique where it's like instead of just throwing your hands up, do you think waving them like you're trying to catch a T-shirt at like a basketball game would be better? I don't know. I'm sure there's science behind it. I just wonder if just having him straight up, because all the like when you have him straight up like that, I see the ball go through the wickets a lot. You know what I'm saying? I see it go right through the hands.
Yeah, but I don't know if there's another way because you can't really predict where that ball is gonna go, so I think you have to just assume he's gonna try to throw it over.
Well, I know, but I'm saying like,
Um,
why not go crazy? You know what I'm saying?
I
I'm just saying,
I
why not go like wacky inflatable armband in
well, I
front of
think
a in
if
front of
if we're
a
thinking, like
dealership? Like,
I mean, there's probably analytics to this, if we're being
hmm
honest, and I think if you
that's what I'm
probably
saying.
look
I
at
just
the
don't know.
statistics
Yeah,
of interceptions, it's probably more likely you're gonna get one if you just go straight
yeah,
up, just off the fingertips,
yeah,
because, I mean, usually it's off of a pass that's not high enough,
yeah,
but I think the most effective pass deflections that we've seen are usually the ones where they get them out to the side,
yeah, yeah,
um, maybe even tip the ball up.
yeah. Well, I mean, you
And
see,
that results in those, interceptions and, sometimes even, the backwards passes, because that's where you can
yeah,
get the fumbles is if they're throwing like a screen and it goes behind them, if you can get a pass deflection there, if that, maybe that left tackle's holding you on a screen to the left and you can that defensive end if he can get his arm out
yeah,
and deflect it, that
yeah,
might go, you might be able to get that back for six. Um,
yeah,
so I don't know what I guess it depends on how much risk you're willing to take.
yeah, yeah. Well,
But
I
I don't
just,
know, it's a pass deflection, like, you're probably not gonna get one anyways,
yeah. I mean,
so
I, I
it's
just,
a tough call.
I see guys like Watt and Max Crosby getting them all the time. With one hand too, not even two hands,
Yeah.
one hand. And I'm wondering if that's them. Are they watching the quarterback's arm and not like, is it could it just be that simple of these guys are so distracted by
Yeah, I
something
mean,
else?
that's
They're
just
not
film.
they're just it's just muscle memory to put the hand up, but they're not really looking at where the ball trajectory is. They're just hoping that they graze it.
I don't know, I
I
think
mean,
it
I don't
depends.
know. I mean, I just, it's
It's probably easier to deflect like a sidearm thrower,
yeah,
like a Caleb
yeah,
Williams-ish or Pat Mahomes-ish where they throw more of the sidearm. I think it's probably easier to deflect those. I think it's just film.
yeah.
I think you just gotta get in the film room and see like where their release point is, how often are they, really airing it up, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, that's
just
a tough one. I've always wondered why teams aren't able to get more extra point blocks or field goal blocks
I
because I think there
yeah.
are a couple of easy ways that you can engage where that ball is going to go.
I think a lot of
Um,
guys that come off the edge on those don't jump early enough. You know what I'm saying? I think if the guys coming off the
yeah,
edge jumped maybe like half a second early, you'd have a better chance because I feel like a lot of them give the effort a little bit too late because that kicking motion happens so quick. I mean, we're talking about less than a second from the ball hit, being held to it being in the air. You're
well,
it's yeah,
personally, I'm lining up. I got my line there, getting ready to block a kick, and I'd be lining up my tallest receivers
yeah,
and my tallest tight ends behind them with the highest verticals, and I'm saying just put your hands up and jump as high as you can.
yep,
And,
especially on
I
the
feel
long
like
ones.
so often we're getting like D tackles putting their hands
Yeah,
up
yeah,
instead of I think, if you have a long tight end that is really athletic and can jump high, or you have receivers like Cam Coleman, right?
yeah,
That,
yeah.
really long and really athletic and, 35, 40-inch verticals, put them back there. They probably have a decent shot of that thing hitting them somewhere on the face or their arms,
Yeah, no,
their
you're
hands.
right. You're right.
But I don't know how I've never been in the booth. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know. Yeah, we don't know what we're talking about.
I
Well,
don't know what
we
I'm
don't know.
talking about.
Um, but yeah, no, hey, that's some good right after game analysis. We don't normally get to do that, so that's good stuff right there. Let's go ahead and kind of touch a little bit here on the Heisman right now. I know we're kind of hitting that late season push here.
Mhm.
Right now it seems like the top four guys, according to DraftKings, are Mendoza, Sayin, Reed, and Pavia. Your second tier guys are your Stocktons, your Kings, your Loves, your Jeremiah Smiths, and then you've got the third tier, which is your Trinidad Chambliss, C.J. Carr, Jacob Rodriguez, Ty Simpson. Especially after tonight, his dropped to plus 10,000 as odds to
Yeah,
win
he
it.
did
As
not look
and
good.
he was a top four guy before that game started. So these are very much updated. Um, so yeah, I mean, right now, I think me and you were kind of on the same page here. I think it's probably Mendoza. I think he's done enough. And you talk about a team like Indiana putting them in a position historically that they haven't been in. transferring in from Cal. Um, Again, it's one of those things where if Brandon Marcello would have attached his wagon to the Hoosiers and not the Illini, we'd be calling him a genius. Um,
Yeah.
because me and you didn't see this happening, a lot of people didn't see this happening. I don't think anybody thought that him going from Cal to Indiana was nothing more than a lateral move for Mendoza. It didn't seem like it was going to be more than that. And it's been a pleasant surprise for the people in Bloomington. St0ner is just super efficient. You look at his stats as well as Mendoza, their incompletions are in the single digits, if not less than five, almost every single game. They're not turning the ball over. They're very good at managing the football offensively and getting it to where they need, and they've got weapons to do that. Marcel Reed, after today's game with that comeback, you continue to have him in the conversation because if you can bounce back like that, it shows not only mental fortitude, but that you can adjust after halftime and come back and do something incredible. And then Pavia, I mean, is he really there because of his statistics? Yes. Is he there for the vibes? Yes. Does he have a real shot at coming home with it? I don't think so anymore, but he deserves to be there. Who else would you want to add to the mixers? I mean, because what they invite five? Is that it? Five now, or is it more than that? It used to be four, right?
I would add Sandell to that list. Just what a great kicker, you
Yeah,
know.
put him on there.
We're talking 7. We're talking about 7 of 7 from 50 plus. Let's throw him in New York. Why not? Um, it's Mendoza.
Yeah, yeah,
It's Mendoza, man. Today he went 22, 24, 299, 4 tuds.
yeah. I mean that's him.
He had double the touchdowns he had in completions.
Yeah, I mean that's happened multiple games, like him and saying both.
Yeah.
But I
He's
think
just
it.
he's just making amazing decisions. Like he just this team is so well coached, man, and Mendoza is just so poised. I mean,
I mean, I'm impressed.
he's going to the NFL, man. Like he's an NFL quarterback. I don't know how well he'll play in
Absolutely.
the NFL,
Yeah, but I
but
mean, but he's gonna
I
get
mean
drafted. He's gonna get drafted for sure. He's
he's
gonna be a
got the
first round draft
processing
pick.
power,
Yeah,
you know. He's
yeah.
got he's
You're
got the
right.
processing power. He's got
Right.
the he's got the arm. He's got the accuracy. But you know who else had all of that? Dylan Gabriel.
True. True.
He hasn't looked very good either.
True. All right, Zach, give us our Thunder update. Okay, we got Thunder update right now coming
Yeah,
from Zach. This is your moment, brother. Take this and tell us where we are right now because right now I'm feeling pretty good.
yeah,
I'm feeling pretty damn good.
yeah,
Should I squash my confidence here? Or should I lean into it? You let me know right now. Let me know.
yeah. I've already taken off a week in June for the parade. Um, this flag, I'm getting ready to put a 6 where the 5 is. It's really just it's gonna happen. I think we're winning another ring. This team looks better than they did last year. We're sitting at 12-1, with the one loss being a 2-point loss to the Portland Trailblazers in a game where every starter except for Shea was sitting out. So I'm feeling pretty good about this game or about this team. And just to give you a couple of stats right now, I think SGA is currently second in the MVP race because Jokic has been putting up ridiculous numbers so far. But SGA is averaging 32 and a half points per game on 5.2 rebounds, 6.6 assists, on 1.3 steals and a block, with only 1.7 turnovers a game, with a 3.9 assist to turnover ratio. I mean, this is a combo guard season, Hall of Fame kind of thing. And, SGA puts together one of the best seasons we've seen from a guard in a long time last season, and he's just getting better and better. Um, Keep in mind, he's doing all of this while sitting out 7 fourth quarters out of the 13 games that they have played. He has only played in 6 fourth quarters in 13 games, and you'll never believe this. He's also first in clutch points while playing like only 7 of these fourth quarters, or only 6. I can't remember exactly which it is.
Seven,
Um,
seven.
yeah, he's played in 7 fourth quarters, and the dude is number 1 in clutch points. You only get clutch points in the fourth quarter. That's just how clutch this guy has been. Obviously, I think the 2 games to start the season where we went to double overtime, that probably helps a little bit.
Yeah.
But this team has just been so impressive, and we're doing all of this without Jalen Williams. Like, J-Dub has not played a minute this season yet, and he's still recovering from, that wrist injury that he played through in the finals, the injury where he ended up having surgery from the legendary Stephen Shin, Dr. Stephen Shin,
Right.
and, he had a 40-point game in game 5 of the finals on a broken wrist. I mean, Jesus. But he hasn't played at all this season. What's really been impressive to me this season is one, Chet. He's getting his offensive chops back. He's an amazing defender, and he's going to continue to be an amazing defender. He just protects the rim at such a high rate that he's starting to get that level of rim deterrence where teams aren't even trying him anymore. It's the same level we saw with Wimby. And I think Chet has pretty much a lock to be second in defensive player of the year voting if he maintains his health throughout the season and plays 65 games. Because at this point, we all know it's Wemby's award. Um, been really impressed with Chet putting up 19 points a game on only 29 minutes. AJ Mitchell, AJ Mitchell, man, he has blossomed this season. One, he's playing 28 minutes a game, which is great for him, but he's doing amazing with it. He's averaging 17 points. I mean, geez, man, 17 points with, not nothing impressive, I guess, from the other stats like 4 rebounds, 4 assists. He is averaging 2 steals a game, which is really good. But this guy has just jumped out on a breakout season. I think he might win both most improved player as well as sixth man of the year. Um, if he, is able to come off the bench more when Jalen Williams comes back, which could be any game now, by the way.
True.
Another guy I've been really impressed with is Isaiah Joe. I mean, the guy's coming out and giving you 16 points a game. He's just shooting the lights out. If I remember, I have the stats pulled up right here. He is he's shooting 41% from three, and that's on what, 9 attempts a game. Like, he's shooting at an elite level, and it's shown with his huge just boost in points that we haven't seen in a while. Isaiah Hartenstein has been really good in my opinion too. He had that amazing game where he had like, what do you have, like 33 and 18. Just like a great game out of Isaiah Hartenstein, and he's been really good. This team has just continued to show that, like, it's so deep, man. It is the deepest team in the league. We have the best player in the world, him or Jokic, right? I mean, we
Yeah.
have superstar MVP, literally MVP, literally finals MVP. We have two other top 20 players. I think SGA is top two in the league, top one, top two. And then you have Jalen Williams, who is, in my opinion, top 15, and Chet, he could be a top 20 player. Like, and then you have some of the best defenders in the league with Chet, Lou Dort, Cason Wallace, Alex Caruso. I mean, this team is so, so deep. They have Let's see, they have one, two, three, four. They have five guys averaging 15 points or more
Yeah.
right
Crazy.
now, and that's without Jalen Williams, man.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what
this
I'm
team
saying.
is
It's
just so good.
and you're
This is the best
yeah,
team we've seen since the Warriors. I'm
yeah,
serious. It's the
yeah,
best team
it
we've seen
is.
since the
It is.
17-18 Warriors,
It is.
and they're beating their records that they set last year.
Yeah.
We set the record for the best net rating, and if people don't know, net rating is basically the point differential per 100 possessions. That's how you get offensive rating. That's how you get defensive rating. It's points you get per 100 possessions and points you allow per 100 possessions. You get net rating by subtracting the two. And OKC had a net rating of like 12.8
Yeah, and
last
they're at
season. Pretty
15.5
much
right
beating
now.
teams. Yeah, we're at 15.5. That means we're beating teams by an average of 15.5 points. That is just unheard of. Over an 82 game season, if you
Yeah.
maintain that average, like, that's best team ever kind of conversation. And this team, right now, let's see, if you do the math, like, they're poised to win 70 plus games.
Easily. They're on pace for 75 right now. According to
Like,
ESPN, 75.
they could easily finish the season with single digit losses. And honestly, I don't think it's going to happen because I
No.
don't think they care enough
No.
about the
Well,
regular season. I
how
think that towards the end of the season, we're going to see Shea. Shea might not play the last 5 games.
oh, yeah, I wouldn't.
Like,
And it might not matter though. That's the thing is it might not matter. You might win all
yeah, it
5 of
might
those
not matter. We're
anyways. You
deep
might
enough that it might not. Because I'm so serious. Our bench, our second
Oh,
unit is better than I think 5 or 6 teams starting
oh, yeah,
lineups.
no, you are correct. You are absolutely correct about that. I mean, yeah, but
Let's
combined
just put it together real quick. Like, AJ Mitchell, Isaiah Joe, Cason Wallace,
Oh, he
Alex
started still,
Caruso.
right?
Sometimes, I
Well,
mean,
yeah, yeah,
that's
he
like
has
it
been.
depends. Like let's say J. Will Caruso, Wiggins, AJ
Yeah,
Mitchell, Isaiah Joe.
yeah,
Like that's your lineup.
yeah.
I
Better than the
think that's
Nets.
better than a lot of.
Yeah, better
It's
than
better than the Nets.
better than the
It's
Nets.
better than the Raptors.
Better than the Raptors. Better than
Better
the
than the
Blazers,
Kings.
maybe. Yeah,
Better than the Pelicans.
yeah, better than Pelicans for sure. Better than
Like
I mean, yeah, you're
better
right.
than the
At least,
Hornets.
yeah, at least 5 or 6 teams. You're right. You're right. 5 or 6
Better than the
teams for sure.
Wizards.
Yeah, Wizards for sure. Yeah, no, it's been amazing to watch, and it just looks like now. Granted, right now their schedule has not been the toughest. They haven't played a lot of really good teams
Yeah,
yet, so that's kind of helping a lot of appearances right now. We'll see how it happens when they get into like the thick of some really competitive teams that they're gonna play. But they have taken care
I
of
think they're
business
playing
against
the
teams that they've needed to. Because
Florida still up 21
they
to
got the
17 by the way.
Hornets tonight, baby, playing the Horny
By
Men.
15 right now.
Okay, we're favored by 16 in that game, so hopefully we cover.
True.
Um,
73 to 58. Shea has 27 points with 6 minutes left to play in the third quarter.
he's
He's only
not
played
playing another
23 minutes.
fourth
He's
quarter.
got 20.
He's not playing the fourth.
Yeah,
He's not playing the
he's
fourth.
got 23 in 23 minutes. He's got 27, 3, 7 assists, 2 steals. Um, Chet has 21 points in 22 minutes
He's
with
been
7
playing incredible.
rebounds. Yeah, man, and just overall, man, just the defense out of this team. Hartenstein and Wallace each have a pair of steals. Like Shea has 2 steals. AJ Mitchell has not had a good game though. He's played 15 minutes. He's only got 2 points,
All right.
one of
Hey.
four.
All right.
But Shay's 11 for 17, 3 of 4 from three, plus 16. Chet's 9 of 15, 2 of 3 from three, plus 14. Just it's amazing,
Yeah.
amazing
Well, and
basketball
I
being
and I think
played right now.
another thing is Shea's three ball has started to kind of drop a little more frequently. He's definitely worked on that
Yeah,
because that was not something last year that we could really count on. And I feel like he's shot you know, a lot of I don't know what the word is. Just a lot of, that's game. Just kind of dagger threes that you just pull up. Pull up. No one's on him because they're so afraid he's gonna cook them on the dribble drive. And the switch doesn't happen. Rotation late. But he had that really impressive three with a hand in his face a couple games ago, just right there off of the left wing, just right cradled next to the bench, just over the top, nothing but net. So I think that's been a good addition for him offensively to add that, to be a little more prolific and at least more efficient from three is what I'm kind of saying is his efficiency from beyond the arc has definitely gone up. And that's something you guys have taken advantage of, and I'm very happy to see that happen. Anything else to add before we move on here into the last couple things?
no, no, I think I'm good. I mean, I would say that like the Hornets have brought it to a 10-point lead only
Okay.
for OKC. It's 73 to 63 right now. And you got to look at these like this is a bad game from OKC, and they're still gonna probably win, right?
Yeah.
And they're shooting 60% from the line, like from the free throw. They're shooting
Ugh.
60 right now.
Ugh.
Like these kind of things. I I want to touch on one thing, and that's most people think that teams that have explosive offenses are going to win championships. That's why people are so like that's why everyone thinks the Lakers are so good right now.
Yeah.
Um but like there's a thing called margin in the NBA and there's a thing called margin in basketball and it's what is your floor and how much room does that give you for error? What's your margin for
Yeah,
error
exactly.
to lose a game? And OKC's just is so high.
Yeah, and
Like
we
they can
saw
do
that.
so
Yeah.
many things wrong. Like yeah, we saw that in
We
the
saw that.
playoffs.
Yeah,
Like
they
they
couldn't
can
hit
do
a three.
so
Couldn't hit a
many
three.
things wrong. They can shoot like shit. They can shoot 60% from free throw. And this defense is so good that it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean,
it doesn't
yeah.
matter how bad they play on offense. We're talking about a team that was shooting like 29% from 3 in the playoffs
Yeah, and
that won the
yeah.
championship.
Yeah, and that doesn't happen. Not
We're
these
talking about a
days.
team that should not have gone to 7 games with
Yeah.
Denver, should
Yeah.
not have gone to 7 games with Indiana. And the only reason we went for to 7 games is because of some game winners.
Yep.
Like, I'm talking terrible games from
Oh, yeah.
OKC, meltdowns from
Yep.
OKC,
Yep.
where we still only lose by 1 point.
Yep.
Like, that the margin for this team is just so, so wide. And I think it's the besides, like, the 17 Warriors where you have just KD, Steph, Clay, and Draymond just, killing teams by halftime, like, this team's margin is just so wide, and it was built so organically. It's not like
Yes.
KD,
Yeah.
like, got
Nah,
traded to
yeah.
this team? Like, it is just I think Sam Presti has a lifetime contract,
Oh, yeah,
at this
absolutely.
point. Like,
He's
he
got
they have Mark
possibly
wants I think Mark has a lifetime contract.
who?
Mark Daigneault has
Oh,
just
yeah,
been
yeah, yeah.
amazing.
Well, and
So, yeah, and
yeah,
also
and congratulations to Sam
in
Presti
5 years
for being inducted into the Oklahoma Sports Hall of
yeah,
Fame.
King of
Uh,
Oklahoma.
yeah, the National Basketball Hall of Fame happening next for having one of the best eyes in general managing. Has to be, has to be. Again, and like
Yeah,
you said,
and this he learned this from the Spurs.
yes,
He
yeah,
started with the
yes,
Spurs.
yep,
That's where he learned it, and that's what OKC is set up to be, going forward is that kinda Spurs level of
yeah.
consistency
The
where,
50, 50, yeah,
they might
50,
not win a championship every
but
year,
55 win
but
seasons
over a decade
minimum. Yeah. I remember, I mean, we remember those days. I mean, 55 wins for the Spurs was like a given when they had Duncan Ginobili and Parker.
yeah.
It
I
was like
mean,
Mhm.
do you remember how beautiful, like, the '07 and, like, the 2014 Spurs were?
Oh
Like,
yeah. They
2013,
were nice.
2014-ish, like,
Nice.
the ball movement, man,
Yeah, it was
just
nice.
the system was so well oiled. It was
Well,
there was
when
just nothing that could really stop it.
yeah, when almost half your starting lineup is European players, that's bound to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what I mean by margin.
Yeah.
That's just they had such a wide margin. They were gonna win 55 games every year, and that's what lets them beat teams like the Heatles.
Yeah, and that's how that happened. All right, let's kind of skim through. I'm just looking at NFL standings right now. We're just gonna kind of talk about kind of where we are here as we are a little over halfway through the season. I'm gonna start off with my team here. We are back in control of the AFC East. My New England Patriots are 9-2. We are feeling pretty good. We may have found the head coach of the future in Mike Vrabel. I think he has done a great job with this team. I have enjoyed watching the upcomings of Travion Henderson. It got a little bit of a slow start, but he's finally catching his footing. I really thought that draft pick late was a really good one, and I'm glad that that started to pan out. Stephon Diggs has turned out to be a massive get, not just not production wise, but just the defense has to pay attention to him, and he's allowing other opportunities for guys like Mac Hollins, for guys that are not household names, becoming more frequent. Drake May, who I thought was going to be okay, and he's still above average in my opinion. I don't think he's special.
Are you joking?
No, no, I'm not. I don't think he's. I think. Look, you look at some of the plays he's made. You go, yes,
No, you're
wow.
being
No,
cautious. You're being cautious
I,
as a fan, and I get it. This is the MVP.
I
This
just,
is the MVP.
I don't
This
know.
guy is the only reason that team is 9-2. Are you joking me right now? He is putting on one of the best sophomore seasons you literally have ever seen,
Yeah, I just,
ever.
and
I
maybe
mean,
for look,
he is going to win MVP. He is the favorite for MVP right now for a reason.
is he
Teams
though?
are going to have to worry about Drake May. Yes. Yes, he's the betting favorite for MVP.
Interesting.
Like, teams are gonna have to worry about Drake May in the AFC for 10 more seasons. The AFC is so competitive to the point that the Patriots were running it for, like, 15 years, 20 years. The Patriots were running the AFC for 20 fucking years, and they have, like, 3 bad years, and boom, Drake May, all of a sudden, the Patriots are concerned again. They might win the AFC.
He might. I mean,
That
look,
that's how
it's
good
just, it's
that's
it,
how good Drake May has been. Stephon Diggs even having a career right now is because of Drake May. Matt Collins having this resurgence that he's kinda had, Drake May. No one else is doing that. This
yeah.
guy has been unbelievable. He is zipping the ball at a level I haven't seen. He is so efficient. His decision making is so quick. He's getting the ball out, not to mention the fact that your O-line sucks,
It's
and this
horrible.
guy is
It's
getting the
bad.
ball out. This guy is he is winning games in spite of that. If he had an O-line and he had time, he's probably got
Well,
500 more yards on the season and 3 more
at
touchdowns.
least I know where my draft picks are going. Look, I mean, it's to me, it's the losses against the Raiders and the Steelers, and you barely beat the Falcons. You scrape by the Saints. I mean, it's performances like that that kind of worry me. You know what I'm saying? Like which kind of I look at and go, okay, like look, a win's a win. I'll take it, right? Like I can't complain about that. But I'm just saying, you would think if a guy is really that good, that we would be able to handle those teams opposed to, blowing out at teams the like the I mean like I don't know. I mean, we haven't
Bro,
really look. We
he
beat the
beat the
Bills by
Bills and he
3.
outplayed
We
Josh Allen.
Yeah, we beat the Bucks on the road. Those are the 2 best wins we have all year long. The rest of them are teams we should have beat. You can't say that right now looking at our schedule. We got the
Drake May put his nuts on Josh Allen's head.
He did. No, I'm not saying he didn't. I'm not saying he didn't. All I'm saying is the Bills win and the Buccaneers win, out of all the 9 wins we have, are the only ones that impress me. The rest of them are games we should have won, and 2 of them are games that we should have won that we lost. So I don't really like that. And you look at the schedule we have remaining,
Boo
it's gonna
hoo,
say
you're 9-2.
we're gonna end up being 9-7. I'm gonna be pissed. But
No,
I
you're
mean,
not. Boo hoo, you're nine
I
and
mean,
two, and you're probably gonna win the AFC. You're probably gonna have a
I
bye in the playoffs.
we'll have a bye. We'll have a bye probably. But we still gotta
Which
play Josh Allen again at home. We gotta play the Ravens on the road, and we gotta play the Bengals on the road tomorrow. Or sorry, next week. Sorry,
did you just
next
say we
week.
gotta play the Bengals? You get to
Uh,
play the
I
Bengals. You
get
don't have to play the Bengals.
to.
You get to play the
Joe
Bengals.
Flacco is Joe Burrow will be back for this game. That's what scares Joe Burrow will be back for our game. That's what scares me. Jo-
Okay, Drake May's gonna throw for 500 on that
Burrow
defense.
might throw for 700. I mean, you know how much pent up yardage he has, probably willing to unleash on us. Our
Let's
defense is not great
Why don't we
at
just talk about the you need to talk about the team that everybody wants to hear about, and that's the 3-5-1 Dallas Cowboys. You know,
baby, second
this
best team in the
this
NFC
team
East.
this team is one of the teams in the NFL.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, they are. I was not
they
aware.
are one of the teams in the NFL. What an offense.
Ooh.
We're putting up like 30 points a game and we're giving up like 32 points a game.
Yeah.
It's amazing how bad this defense is. It's just fun to watch because
It's
they're all shootouts.
yeah, yeah,
They're
it
all
is. Yeah,
shootouts.
it is.
It's pretty fun to watch. Like we're 3-5-1 and we're in on week 10 and Dak Prescott has 2,300 yards,
Yeah,
17
yeah.
TDs, and 6
He's
picks.
gonna throw for like
And
6,000 yards. You guys are gonna not make the playoffs.
we're gonna have 2 1,000-yard receivers,
Yeah.
and
Um,
we're not gonna make the
yeah,
playoffs.
it's like boy, special. But yeah, no. So
Yeah,
yeah,
just
yeah.
and we
So
have like 7 primetime games left. It's
yeah, yes, yeah. It's not looking great for you. Let's touch a little bit on kind of the congested ones, right? Like the NFC West is kind of congested. You have the Seahawks and Rams and 49ers still vying for a top spot in the NFC West with barely anything separating them game wise. Again, the NFC South is a mess. We know that they're always a mess, but they're going to come down to the nitty gritty. It looks like the Buccaneers are going to once again pull it out, but they've got Carolina in the back seat, and you never want to count the Falcons out, especially with the NFC South. You never know what's going to happen there. The North of the NFC is the most congested out of any of the NFC conference divisions because you got Detroit, the Bears, and the Packers, and the Vikings all within 2.5 games of each other, and so that whole entire division could be musical chairs the rest of the season. It just depends on who is playing well at the time and who can find the wins when they need to. But I still like the Lions, and I do still like the Packers to be the top 2 teams coming out of there, to be kind of the ones jousting it. I don't hate the Vikings. I think they're probably a third. I just don't believe the Bears are going to stay where they're at the second spot. I think that's the team that's probably lucking into their position right now, kind of due to a favorable schedule and just kind of catching teams at the right time. But I could be wrong. I just think that Detroit is kind of head and shoulders right now above the other 3. I don't know how you feel about that. That's kind of how I feel about the NFL.
no, yeah. I mean that's true. I think you're right though. Like, I think the NFC West is
Yeah, that's the
really where
yeah,
it's
that's
at.
yeah. I mean, except for the Cardinals, which But I mean, like, but that, yeah, I think the AFC West. You look at that as well. Besides the Raiders, that's pretty congested. I mean, you don't want to count the Chiefs out. The Chargers are due to lose a couple they're not supposed to, and the Broncos are holding on by a thread. I mean, Bo Nix and company keep skating by. They're not exactly playing their best football, but they're winning games, and they're looking to be, I think, right now optically the best team in the AFC West. But I think that Kansas City's still the most talented in that division. I will cease to sleep on them until they are dead for sure. If I'm any other team in that AFC West division, you just can't sleep on them. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, yeah. Personally, the thing that I've been most surprised by in the NFL is Sam Darnold. What are your thoughts there? What are your thoughts on Sam Darnold for MVP?
Statistically, not crazy, right? Like the stats will back that up all day long. The team record will assist him in that. Um, I just think that you look at their schedule again, he's kind of the benefit of playing a lot of bad teams. And you look at the two decently good teams they've played, and they've lost those games in the Buccaneers and 49ers. The rest of the teams on there they've beat, I can't look at the schedule and go, they're not supposed to beat that team. Cardinals, Commanders, Texans, Jags, Cardinals, Saints, Steelers. No, you could maybe give me the Steelers second week of the season, like, oh, like kind of a big win. But like now you look at that and go, you know. I mean, what's going to happen is this Rams game is going to be huge. The Vikings game is going to be huge. Rams again, 49ers again. Those are the last four games that are really going to, in my opinion, tip the scale on whether or not we can have any validity to this Sam Darnold MVP conversation. But statistically, he is there.
Yeah, him and Drake May, man.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way about Drake. It's like I like what I'm seeing. It's just I need to see it more against really good teams. That's what I need to see. MVPs win games against good teams and bad teams, and they look good doing both. And I just haven't seen
Yeah,
that from either of
and
them.
well, in terms of odds, right? DraftKings currently has Drake May and Matt Stafford tied at first with plus 235 odds. Then it
Interesting.
follows as Patrick Mahomes, Jonathan Taylor, Josh Allen, then Sam Darnold.
I mean, we were talking about
Then
Jonathan
there's a big
Taylor,
fall off, and then it's Justin Herbert. Jonathan Taylor, I think, should be the MVP.
but
Um,
quarterback board.
yeah, but it's a quarterback award. We all know it.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to go, if I had to guess, it's probably going to go to Matt Stafford.
Yeah, and the thing is, but I think that hinges on how he plays against Sam Darnold. Am I allowed to say that?
Well, he doesn't play against Sam Darnold. He plays against the defense.
I mean, I'm saying just, I mean, all right, I guess. But I mean, you know what I'm
Well,
saying.
that's
Yeah,
fine. I
yeah,
mean, like
yeah,
it doesn't that doesn't affect it, in my opinion. Like head to
yeah.
head between quarterbacks, nah, I don't give a fuck.
But wasn't that like the whole entire thing between like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes for years as it came down to those matchups? I mean, like, did it not?
It shouldn't have,
I'm
but it
not. Yeah,
did.
that's what I'm saying. Like, it happens. Whether or not it's valid, I agree with you. It shouldn't matter. But I mean, I'm saying it does, and so I'm saying it does. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I hate that it does, but it does. AFC South, it's Indianapolis's division to lose. We know that. AFC
Yep.
North, another one where it's like any of those top three teams could make a run. Bengals, Ravens, Steelers, they're all right now record
Yeah, it's
wise
gonna
in
be
the
the Ravens,
middle.
though.
It should be the Ravens. You're right. And we'll see if that comes to fruition. I'd be surprised if the Steelers hang on to that top spot. But that's kind of it for
Yeah.
NFL. There's not really much to talk about other than that. Oh, I forgot. We not much to talk about. Jameis Winston plays football this week as a starting quarterback. Go Giants!
Fuck yeah.
Go Giants!
Go Giants.
I don't know who they're playing, but go Giants.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Who are they playing? I just want to. Who are they? But they are playing the Packers. Go Giants! Go Giants!
Go Giants.
Go
Fuck the
Giants!
Packers.
Yeah, fuck the Packers. Go Giants. But yeah,
Packers are terrorists.
that was the big news. I forgot that was the biggest news we had. Jameis Winston is going to be eating W's tomorrow, for the New York Giants. All right. God damn it, it's time. I hate this. This is I'm dreading it, but here we go. It's sportsbook time, baby.
Hey, I'm sitting here. I'm trying to get the odds for next week's games. I can't find
Can't, so we have to wait. But we can at least recap how bad we did last week. When I say last week, I mean last month. Last month. So last month, baby, we had a good one. Remember, we do these normally on Fridays. So we had the week 8 games going on. We both took the LSU money line against Vandy. Oh, Diego Pavia, why you do me so cold? It was Vandy 31, LSU 24. You look at that one, so we go 0-1 there. Zach had Michigan minus 4.5 against Washington. Was it a winner? I believe it was. I believe Michigan took care of business. If I can find it. Where are you, Michigan? Hello? Hello, why can't I find you? Where are you? There it is. Michigan wins by 17. It's a winner. Ding, ding, ding. That gets that one. I had Northwestern minus 3 against Purdue. I was believing in the Wildcats, who almost beat USC today. They are not as bad as they were predicted to be talent-wise heading into the season. But could they beat the Spoilermakers? They didn't just beat them. They shut them out. 19-0 Wildcats. Rah! And that's a winner straight up for me. And then it was Zach taking the Georgia Tech money line against the Duke Blue Devils. It was a big game, I'm not going to lie. It was one of the top ACC matchups of the week, and Georgia Tech is a winner by 9, 27-18. So Zach 2-1 thus far. He had Ole Miss plus 7 against Georgia. A great pick when you look back on it. It was a long ball. He sit down there and couldn't get it done. 8-point loss by a point. Couldn't hold it. And it's a rough one. It's a bad beat there. Ohio State, Wisconsin, he had the Badgers plus 25 against Ohio State. And 34-0. We couldn't get even 10 points on the board, Badgers, not even in garbage time. Sad. I liked the pick. Should have happened. Didn't. USC money line was your last pick of the week. Notre Dame wins by 10. Was a good game, though. I didn't hate watching that game. Was a decent one. Just wasn't enough. Wasn't enough. And so, Zach, yeah, I didn't, 3-3. You'll take 3. That's 3-3. And you know what? You went 1-1 in your locks. Not bad. 3-3, 1-1. That leaves you with $51 heading into next week. That's big money right there. We can make that. We can spread that around. That's going to be workable on Friday. I had, after Northwestern minus 3, I decided to take Clemson minus the 4.5 against SMU. 11-point loss. I guess Dabo wasn't praying to the right God. So that didn't happen. Arizona State against Texas Tech. I wanted it bad, and guess what? Ding, 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 ding. Got it, baby. Give me the Sun Devils, giving Texas Tech their first loss of the year. I called it, baby. I knew it was going to happen. And I just wish it would happen a little bit more. Arkansas money line against A&M. Again, I get absolutely robbed. The Razorbacks continue to just, grab victory from the jaws of defeat and lose a barn burner against A&M 45-42. I was so close, Zach, on that one. I was feeling it in my bones, and I loved watching that game. A lot of offense for both sides. Penn State money line, baby. I was feeling myself on this one, too. I really thought they could beat Iowa, and it was the first game from the freshman quarterback taking the spot of Drew Aller. A 1-point loss to the Hawkeyes. And you know what? I just continue to struggle. But I got, some good ones. I got Arizona State and Northwestern holding me up, baby. I knew it was going to be them. I knew it was going to be 2-4. And I go 0 for 2 on my locks. I continue to be horrible. And you know what? Hey, we knew Zach was going to carry this season. And, he just continues to, 3-3, 1-1 in his locks.
Well, I lucky St0ner gnome.
That's hey, it's working for you. Let's get to our final thoughts. There are a lot of things going on in the world, Zach, and I think the most important thing that went on was a release of some emails over the last few days from our government, which kind of pulled the curtain back on some things, and I think there was a riveting story about our dear president possibly being the throat goat, the new throat goat, opposed to the former throat goat of Nancy Reagan. I think the spot's been taken, Zach. I think Donald J. Trump might be the throat goat. Rumor has it that my boy likes to smoke some dick, and he likes to smoke the good dick because apparently, and again,
And swallows.
allegedly a swallower, and allegedly a swallower that loves to
I'm a
fondle.
swallower.
I'm a swallower, folks. I never
I don't
spit.
quit. I've never quit.
I can't help it, folks. I just love it so much. Make sure you crate. Make sure you fondle the balls, folks. My small hands are just enough to cup them.
It's about the cup.
It's about the
It's
cup.
about the
It's
cup.
about the cup.
People
but
underrate the cup. They tell me Donald. They tell me Donald.
but yeah, no.
Donald, you have to
So
fondle.
But the big fish he caught on the big dick hook was Bill Clinton. Bubba Clinton
About it.
might have received some top from the top person in our government system at the executive branch division. Um, I mean, and I told you, Zach, and I'm gonna stick with my guns here. If it's good enough for Bill Clinton, it's got to be good enough for me. Okay,
That's the
if
real. That's it. Because we all know who the best judge of it is.
it's got to
It's
be.
always been Bill.
Yeah, the facts line it up. You said it perfectly. We had him removed from office for getting some of the best top you could get,
He
and
was literally getting criminal top.
criminal top, and he was willing to cross the river of gender norms and societal gender tendencies to take a trip down the esophagus highway.
Donald Express.
The Donald Express, the Donlita
And
Express.
he did it for us.
He did it for us because if he wasn't gonna find out, nobody would have. And who better to be the judge of great top than the man who was forced to resign from his job for receiving criminal
Over.
top than Bill Clinton. So I mean, look, props to Bill Clinton because I think we said it. Not a guy that comes off as a bi-romantic man, but we know that DJT loves his Broadway. She loves his show tunes, blasting him on the golf course, full blast. He loves kissing men, folks, on the mouth, folks. I'll kiss them. Look how beautiful they are. Oh, I love them so much. Broad
Handsome
shoulders.
man.
Yeah, in his speech at Arlington Cemetery, had to bring out the fact that the soldiers had broad shoulders. On their broad shoulders,
Broad.
folks. Very
Very
broad,
broad.
very manly. I love the men, folks. I love them almost as much as the
I
women,
love
almost.
manly men.
I
I
mean,
love a manly man.
yeah. But no, I just thought that was very interesting because I'm just, I always, because the thing is all those signs, right, Zach, they point that direction. They point to some, promiscuity to, you go to an all boys school, you go to all these all boys camps growing up, all these tennis camps and stuff. You live the good life. I feel like that does open you up to being able to be more yourself, right? Because you got fuck you money. You can be yourself. Who's gonna judge you if you got fuck you money, right? And if there's one thing we know is Donald J. Trump growing up had fuck you money, and so nobody made fun of him listening to show tunes. No one made fun of him doing all these things that if he went to public school and was some sort of trailer park junkie would have got beat up for. I know if he walked to my high school and was playing show tunes, we would have shoved him in a locker and pissed on him. I mean, we did not treat
Ooh.
people that were different very kindly in high school. I don't know how it was for you, but if you were one of those people, I wasn't talking to you.
Oh yeah. He would have been food.
Yeah, he would have been food. Yeah, yeah, they would have ate his lunch.
50-piece nugget.
I mean, because he's going in enlisting in vocal music, even if he's not that interested. Like he's not.
Like, your kid.
Yeah, you know it. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, he's hanging out. Everybody around him's a woman. It's like, and not because they're interested. I mean, hey, that's still the case. But it's. uh, I just, I thought that was kind of pressing. I think, we're very accepting here. We don't judge, and I definitely won't judge if another man is willing to provide glowing reviews of another man's fellatio abilities. I'm very
Man,
on
we're
board
talking
with that.
about throat services. These are services that have to be rendered.
Yes.
You know,
especially to the most
Someone has to
powerful
do it.
man on the
I
planet.
mean, it'll probably be a paid service, before too long. Kinda like how I do think that jerking will be a paid service before too long. Like, you'll go
Oh.
into a building, there'll be some guy there, and he'll, like, spit on his hand. He'll be like, "You want the fucking premium today?" And,
So
he'll
instead
just
of
jerk
in the
you.
bathroom having the guy that like gives you like a breath mint, he's there to like he's got like a thing of CeraVe next to him, ready to strap on.
Yeah,
He got a rubber glove and some CeraVe ready to
and
go.
it's the same kind of conversations you'd have at the barber, just,
Would you like a
talk about the game,
would you like for me to
you
top you
know?
off, sir? Like me to
Yeah. You want the you
empty
want
you?
the extra you want the lotion for the $3?
Yeah. I can even trim for you. I have little scissors I can trim. Would you like a lightning bolt, or would you like a just a regular, just nice little trim? Would you like a
I like
you
to
want a
imagine
perm?
him less of the butler type and more of like the taxi driver type.
Like with a Bluetooth headset on?
Yeah.
Hold on, I got another call coming
"Hey,
in.
hold on. Listen, I got a guy right now. I'm gonna get him out of here in 10 minutes. Alright? You can send in my 9:15 after."
That's right. The meter's running. Hurry up. The meter is running. The longer you take, the more I'm gonna charge because these
"Don't
arms,
complain. I'm getting paid no matter what. I'm going the normal speed."
my arms gonna be sore at the end of the day regardless. Hurry up. No, I agree.
Anyways, this is a sport.
Yeah, this is a sports podcast, and we appreciate bringing you all the content we can. We love America, and if there's nothing more American than getting good tops, so we appreciate a president that represents our uh, our likes and our what we enjoy. Makes it relatable. So I can say that this is probably one of the most relatable things that he's done. And I commend him for that. Humanize him. Why not? He's a demon, but humanize him. Yeah. Um.
Love it.
Anything else you want to add? Anything else? I mean, I don't know how you top that, but anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
Mhm. No, I think that was a good way to way to end it.
All right. Hey, happy endings for everybody here at the Stoner Sports Radio Podcast, episode 107. Go down in history. Clip it and ship it. And hey, for all of us here on a Be Happy Saturday, college football still on the TV. 14-3, Georgia over Texas. Talk about the dogs. Keep stick on
Oh.
the ice. And good night, Canada.